projects by providing technical help, support, and assistance in door makaba, door hardware, and systems specifications. Please note that we will have questions and answer session at the last of this presentation. So please write your questions in the chat box, and we will answer at the end of the session after the presentation. Sorry. Okay. Now, I would also like to thanks to all the attendees for the last 3 sessions, the 3 webinars you attended with us. Here are the 3 sessions with the topics which we covered, the nice topics which we covered during the presentation. For your information, those who have not attended the last session, 3 sessions, here are 2 links which are provided. One of the link is for the recorded session. So you can click here on and you will get the recorded session. And there were also questions, some major and then top, some important questions which are already answered. And they are provided in a link here. So by clicking here, you can access all those question and answer which are asked by architects, designers, and consultants during our last 3 sessions. So here are the links for each of the webinars. In my today's session, which is session number 4, I will be covering some major topics. The topics which are today's 3 topics, which are door leaf encroachment. Number 2 is delayed egress locking system. Number 3 is a requirement of fire-rated door as per NFPA 80. All these to refer, to provide assistance and to provide the feedback or to provide assistance on these 3 main topics, we are always taking reference from the books on the right side here. NFPA 101, which is life safety code. NFPA 80 is a code for fire-rated doors and opening. And then NFPA 105 for smoke assemblies, door assemblies, and other opening protectives. NFPA 252 is a standard for fire test method for fire test of door assembly, the method of fire door test assembly. Now, the first topic of our today's session is door leaf encroachment. As we know that in case of emergency situation, when we have to escape from the building, doors are very important of this process. We also know that these doors should not be locked, so we do not find ourselves locked in the room and be locked to escape. In addition to this, there are situations where door is open during its swing, or when fully open, it may become an encroachment in the required width of escape route or exit access. NFPA 101 regulates these encroachments to ensure that when these doors are fully or half open, do not constrain the escape of the people. In this regards, NFPA 101 life safety code regulates door leaf encroachment. So as you see here, here are an example of the different door encroachment. Door A, B, C, different encroachment and different opening. For these different encroachment, there are 2 conditions. One is when the door is 90-degree open, like door A and B. And there are also conditions when the door is 180-degree open. So let's focus on the doors which are 90-degree open only. The door which are opening to exit access corridor, like the escape corridor, the egress corridor, the projection of the door edge, they should not project more than 7 inches. More than 7 inches from the face of the wall to the edge of the lock edge of the door leaf. The same situation is here in a B. The same in a 90-degree position, the door leaf projection should not be more than 7 inches, means 180 millimeter. And also the door which are opening in 180 directions, So in some cases, like here the door number C, which is opening up to 180 degree, but in some cases the door will not open for full 180-degree opening. The reason is there might be lever handle or there might be a pull handle like a door fixing. So that will stop a door from being opening up to complete 180-degree opening. So again, in that case, if the door is not fully opening, then this projection should not be more than 7 inches. There are also cases that if the door is opening up to 90-degree, I mean, like if it is a full swing door. So when the door full swing door in a 90-degree, in this case, the door should not take more than half of the access route. Like this is the total width of the door, so it should not take more than half of the door leaf width, the required width of the door leaf. All these conditions are applicable only when you do not have a door closer, a self-closing device on a door. But when you have a door closer on these doors, then it does not comply to, this clause does not comply to a door which has a self-closing device. Moving on to the next, the second topic of our today's session, which is delayed egress locking system. Before we discuss about delayed egress locking, we need to understand, as we know that we use panic bar for escape, as panic bar are very easy to open, especially when people are in panic, to ensure that they escape, that they escape from the building, out from the building. With a panic device, door can be locked from the outside, but from inside, people can always escape. So it means they should always be free to exit from the building. On one hand, this is very safe. It helps a lot in the safety design of the building, but not supporting the security of the building, because anybody can easily escape from the building. So this has been an issue between the safety authority and owner of the building. And now they have agreed that they can never restrict escape of the people, but can delay for some period of time. Typically, it is 15 seconds. Typically, it is 15 seconds, and it can also be 30 seconds, but that needs approval. It can be provided upon approval. And this can be, 15 seconds can be achieved by electronic system in the same panic device, in a normal panic device. And this panic device is called delayed exit device. Here are some of the example, some application I would like to share with you that panic device delayed exit can be used or can be applicable for using in such occupancies. For example, in healthcare facility, it can alert staff to a patient attempting to leave the premises without paying bill. Also, in commercial applications, doors may be equipped with delayed egress to discourage shoplifting. In airport, it restricts unauthorized movement to flight line or to any other secure area. In schools or childcare, it deters abduction or delinquency. Now, how it functions? The function of a delayed egress exit device. As you see here, there are some parts, like several parts of the panic device. The key switch, the alarm where it sounds, and then the body, the push bar of the body, the panic device. This part is when it is pressable, it can be pushed to retract a latch of the exit device. Now, in a delayed egress mode, when you press this push bar, it cannot be pressed because the delayed egress is electronic. It is used for access and for security purpose. So when you press it, it would not push and it will not retract a latch. You need to push a bar of this part of the exit device for maximum of 3 seconds to put the exit device in a delay mode of 15 seconds. So the first 3 seconds are continuous sound, a local alarm here. For the first 3 seconds, It is a maximum 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds, the panic bar will be in a delayed mode of 15 seconds, which is irreversible alarm and sound, and it's audible sound. After completion of 15 seconds, the door will release. Not the door, sorry, not the door release, but the push bar is now in a pressable position. The push bar is now released, and then you can press and push it to retract a latch and escape from the building. Now, after closing a door, after closing a door, the alarm is still there in a body of exit device. It has to be reset manually. It has to be reset manually by a key switch here. Now, these are for security purpose. Now, when there is a condition like I'm authorized person, how will I use it? For me, as an authorized person, I need two things. Number one, I can use with a key switch. Number two, if required, I can use with a card reader. By sweeping a card reader, the panic bar, without any delay, without any sound, it is released, it is engaged with the latch, and then I can simply press it, and then I can get out for 10 or 15 seconds. Some amount, like for 10 seconds. I can get out. After closing a door, after 10 seconds, the panic door device will go back in a delayed mode. Or it can also be permanently unlocked for a daytime. Let's say for duty hours from 7:30 or 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then can be reset. So during that period, for a long term, it can be a person can go in, out. This is for internal office or for any factories where required. But basically, this is for use of security. Now, signage for delayed egress exit device. Since the operation of door having delayed exit device is very different than any other door having normal panic device, it may confuse the people who approach or people who are using for the first time. With that reason, code requires us to have a signage with a font size of 1 inches 25 millimeter high, and not less than, it should not be less than 125 millimeter high, and it should not be less than, the font size should not be less than 1 by 8 inches 3.2 millimeter in stroke width, and the font should be in a red color. Now, type of delayed egress locking systems. There are two types of delayed egress locking system. Number one, delayed egress exit device, which we have already covered. And the second is a delayed egress electromagnetic lock. About delayed egress electromagnetic lock, it has the same feature as delayed egress exit device. But if we have an existing building where delayed exit device is not used and building needs to be kept safe with panic device, but at the same time facing building security issues. And since we need to comply to the safety requirements, and then delayed egress magnetic lock are available, which can be installed on the top of the door, and it does the same function as explained for exit device. Now, there are several occupancies which allows the using of delayed egress locking systems, such as assembly occupancies, educational occupancy, daycare, healthcare, hotel, and so on. But there are also, in the same occupancy, there are some exceptions. For example, the assembly occupancy, they said that the delayed egress lock shall be permitted on doors other than main entrance and exit doors. So there are some condition and assembly occupancy. You can use it, but it shall be permitted on doors other than main entrance and exit doors. And also in a lodging and rooming houses, hotels and dormitories and apartment buildings, only one delayed egress locking system is allowed in the escape route. The third and the last topic of our today's presentation is NFPA 80. It is a standard for fire-rated doors and other opening protectives. Let's understand it covers the fire rating of the door, and it does not cover smoke rating of the doors. For smoke rating, there is a separate code which is NFPA 105, and we might cover that in our upcoming session. We know that door plays door plays an important role when it comes to the safety of the building. For example, a fire-rated door avoids the spread of fire from one place to the other place. Number two, the fire exit door provides a safe exit to people. These 2 points are already discussed in our previous sessions and topics. About a fire rating door, there are certain requirements which helps in stopping the fire, the spread of fire for certain period of time. When it comes to a fire rated door, as per NFPA 80, there are When it comes to the fire rated door, as per NFPA 80, there are 3 important points. Number 1, the door should hang using hinges which are made of steel. They can be normally steel or stainless steel, but aluminum or brass hinges are not allowed to be used on fire-rated door. As per NFPA 80, labeling on hinges are not required. They should comply to NC 156.1 butt and hinges. Number 2, after the steel hinges, second important point is the door should self-close. This self-close can be achieved by overhead door closer, floor closer, or spring hinges. We can achieve self-closing by all these 3 means of closings. And the reason is that the door should always be kept closed. So when there is a fire, the door is in closed position to restrict fire. There are also situations where fire-rated door needs to be kept open due to use of the building. In that case, a separate or built-in magnetic hold open can be used. And hold open has to be connected with smoke detector or fire alarm systems. So when there is a smoke or fire in the building, door will release and close. Number 3, the third important point is fire-rated door needs to be self-latch. Due to this reason, all latch lock fire exit hardware to have spring latch, the spring-loaded latch, which makes sure that when the door is open and when it comes to its closed position, then it is properly latched and closed. Properly latched, especially because we are talking about latch of the product. And as I said, when it requires, then it should have a built-in magnetic hold open, which releases in case of smoke and fire, or wall-mounted magnetic hold open. Now, labeling for fire-rated door. All hardware needs to be labeled except butt steel hinge, which does not comply. Butt steel hinge which does not comply or which does not required as per NFPA 80. It is not required as per NFPA 80, but labeling is required for spring and continuous hinge. As you can see, all even if it is a door closer, if it is a magnetic hold open device, latch lock, exit device, flush bolt, door weaver, glazing, door assembly like a frame and door, they all should be labeled. Now, smoke gasketing on fire-rated door. Gasketing plays an important role, especially in the smoke rating doors. But in case of wood doors, the gasketing which are integrated with insulation, help the wood door to achieve its fire rating. Now, glazing in the fire rated door. When it comes to glazing, NFPA 80 allows any size of glazing tested and certified for 20, 30, 45, 60, and 90 minutes. But for 3 hours, fire rated door, its size is limited to 100 inches, means 0.065 square meter. 100 square inches. Moving on to the next point, which is protection plate. Normally, it is thought that when a door has steel plate that is helping against the fire, but it is opposite. These plates make the doors more risky. So if the steel protection plate is less than 16 inches or maximum of 16 inches 406 millimeter high, then we do not need any labeling as per NFPA 80. But a protection plate which is above 16 inches 400 millimeter labeling is required, and it has to be tested. Lower on fire rated door or lower in the fire rated door. Now about the lower, again, as I mentioned earlier, NFPA 80 is about the fire rating of the door, not smoke rating of the door. So if the door only needs to be fire rated and not smoke rated, then we can have fire rated louvers. And these are special type of louvers. When there's a fire, it automatically drops, blades automatically drops and close the gaps to stop the spreading of fire or heat from one side to other. Please note that these louvers do not stop the flow of smoke. Due to this reason, such doors are not allowed in the room which opens in the means of egress. For example, electrical room, mechanical room, or garbage room, which opens to exit corridor. The size of such louver is limited to certain sizes, and it should be as per the test of door assembly that has been performed. Now, here is the summary of comparison of fire rated door as per NFPA 80 American standard, and then as per Code of Practice European standard. Now, here we have some comparison of self-closing. Self-closing is required both for NFPA for American standard as well as for European standard. But in European standard, there are some exceptions that self-closing, if self-closing, if it is not there on cupboard, service ducts, but there should be a signage saying or mentioning fire door keep shut. But positive latching is required as per NFPA, which is not recommended or which is not used or which is not tested. Positive latching is tested as per NFPA 80, but positive latching is not tested as per Code of Practice European standard. Point number 2, NFPA 80. NFPA 80 says that labeling for hinges, steel hinges, is labeling is not allowed. It is not labeled like the labeling for hinges is not recommended or it is not used, but as long as the hinges are tested or it complies the NC BHMA 156.1, which is standard for butt and hinges. But European says that the hinges has to be tested and to be labeled. Protection plates. American standard, which is NFPA 80, regulate the height of the protection plates, but European does not regulate. The last point, but not the least, many people think that if a door is fire rated, then it is totally sealed. No, it is not. It is not true. The fire rated door as per NFPA 80 can have maximum of 90 millimeter at the bottom of the door and 3.18 to 1.59 millimeter for steel door, and for wood door it can have at the side and then top they can have a gap of 3.18. Just to once again, for a steel door, gap at the top and side, it should not be more than 3.88 plus minus 1.59 millimeter. But when it is wood door, then it should not be more than 3.18 millimeter. But as per European test, the clearance for the top and side frame between the door and frame, it allows 3 millimeter at the top and sides and 3 millimeter as a threshold gap at the bottom. Now, here's the team of our specification, the dormakaba architecture specification team, who are all available for your project's specification, for all type projects specification. We are even available now, working from home. For all your information, these each of them are qualified with different certification, which relates to door hardware industry. And then we also have some gold medalists in door hardware in certification. From GI, we also have HC and we also have FDI in our team, specification team. Thank you so much for having me in your presentation and for attending this presentation. If you have any question, then I'll go to just a chat.
Thank you, Jamal. Jamal, there are no questions in the chat box. There is one now from Sorab Sood, which is, can fire doors have concealed hinges? Yes, fire doors can have concealed hinges if the concealed hinges are tested and certified. Do external doors on ground floor, egress, and staircase on the terraces need to be fire rated? Any external door need not to be fire rated unless there is an adjacent building within the certain distance as per the NFPA 101 occupancies as defined. So if it is an open space and we do not have other building within 3, 4, 5 meters, depending upon occupancy, then we do not need to fire rate the external doors. I hope it is understood. As far as terraces are concerned, that is a different subject. It comes into the facades, and this topic is developing. But there are requirements that in the facade, if there is a fire on one floor, it should not frog leap to the other floors. There are certain requirements, but making fire rated facades is too expensive, and this is something developing now. Because we have seen a lot of fires, especially in the Middle East region, which are related to the facade of the buildings. But NFPA does not cover that topic. Please advise what is the positive latching. If you look at the lock of the door, you will find out a bolt. Jamal, can you bring the slide of the locks?
Yes.
Normally on the locks, you will find that there is a bolt which come out from the lock, which engages into the hole in the frame, and this way it locks and unlocks. So normally you will find two such bolts. One is spring actuated. So if you push it by thumb, it will go inside, and the other one is called deadlock, which extrudes when you turn the key. So when we say positive latching, we are talking about the one which is spring loaded. Since it is spring loaded, it means that when I push the door in closed position, it automatically goes and engages into the frame, and thus the door is positively latched. Deadbolt does not come under this criteria, because for deadbolt, once the door is closed, you have to do an action. Person has to turn the key a thumb turn to extrude it and to engage it. So when we say door should be latched, the deadbolt does not count here. Surab, I hope this answers your question. If you have anything more, please you can ask. Mr. Rizwan is asking, can we use card reader for delayed egress device to switch off the alarm instead of metal key? Yeah, a very good question. Yes, from the inside when you are escaping during the normal time, a person who is authorized and he has the card. So we can do a arrangement. We can put a card reader from the inside, and a person can show the card. The alarm will be disengaged, and the person will just push the panic bar, and he will be out. If there is a panic situation or fire scenario, then this card reader will be disengaged, and now the person can straight go and push the door. I will further refer to NFPA on this topic, Mr. Rizwan, to see specifically if there is any restriction on it. If there is any further restriction, we will refer to it. And at the end of the session, we are writing all the questions and we are providing the answers and references to the code to ensure that we do not give any wrong information. So we'll further investigate on this. Mr. Surab, can you also please advise on the regulations related to vision panels on the fire-rated doors? Jamal has mentioned in his slides what NFPA 80 says about the vision panel. So if the doors are fire rated less than 3 hours, then you can have any size depending upon the test that is performed. But if it is 3-hour fire rated door, then it is limited to 100 inches. And nowadays, due to development into the glass technology, and there are ceramic glass and others, there are companies who has tested even glass doors for 3 hours with bigger dimension than 100 inches. So if somebody has a product and they have tested and certified and they can convince the authorities, they may use it. But as far as NFPA is concerned, these are the requirements. Normally, such vision panels, as we know, is required so that the person can see the situation on the other side of the door before he opens it. It may help the firemen to look through it, see if there is fire and smoke on the other side before they open the door, or it may help in the normal operations of the building where a person can see there is somebody from the other side. So by pushing or pulling the door, it will not hit the person on the other side. Mr. Jofi is asking, are the requirement for fire rating same of double and single doors? Yes, the code will tell us that the door in this position need to be 60-minute fire rated. So now if you have a door, a single door or a double door or a window or any other opening here, it needs to conform to that requirement depending on it. So these are the questions that were there in the chat box. We still have 3 minutes. So if anybody want to ask question, they can unmute themselves and they can ask the question now. While you are thinking for the questions, let me just update you that this session, codes and standard sessions, will held on the same time every Monday and Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, we are adding BIM to it. So we will be talking about building information modeling. We have a presentation planned for this Wednesday as well. So please do not hesitate to contact your colleagues and friends to attend this one. You can send us their emails. We can put them in the email. And whatever sessions that are happening, we are recording these. As you can see, this presentation is also being recorded. And after session finishes, we send to all the audience the link to the recording session, as well as we answer all the questions in the chat box with references and share that as well as PDF. There is one more question. I think we can take this question as the last question from Surab again. Can double leaf doors swinging on both sides be fire rated? What would be the hardware required for such doors? Yes, we call them double acting door. So this door swings in both direction. Normally, we see these doors in corridors where person from any side can just push the door and go to the other side. As per the American standards, such doors are not allowed. As per the European standards, these doors are allowed. The American, they use double egress door rather than double acting door for such purpose, especially in the hospitals, where one leaf swings in one direction and the other leaf swings to the opposite direction. In European standards, yes, it is allowed. In such cases, mostly they use a floor closer, which is a fire-rated floor closer, and the door is tested for this purpose. There is always arguments on this door because there are no stops and the gaps on the sides are more as compared to single acting door, because in double acting we need more gap for the door to operate. So there is always an argument that it's not good for smoke or other purpose. But since, as per European standards, such door has been tested and they have passed the test successfully, so if the door is already tested and certified, then yes, we can use them if the building is designed as per European standard. So this finishes all the questions in the chat box. Jamal, it's back to you. But before going back to you, I say thank you to all who attended and asked the questions. Okay, Jamal.
Thank you, Altaf, for answering the questions. Thank you so much, and thanks a lot to all who attended today's session. Really appreciate your presence here. I know it's a very tough time. It's a very busy time. Even though we are sitting home, we are working from home, but we are even more busier than sitting in the office. Thanks a lot, and then hope to see you in the next sessions of our code and standard review for doors in a building. Thank you so much, and bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, bye.